Yo, what's good? It's Zell here. In today's video, we'll be looking at disturbing videos on the internet that keep you up thinking. Let's get right into it.
Who wears glasses should listen to this video. So, ultraviolet light is dangerous. This is what they tell us. We should avoid it at all costs. We live in houses with no ultraviolet light. We leave our houses when we put on glasses, contacts, and sunglasses, which block the UV light. We drive in cars that also block the UV light. We work in offices which receive no UV light. Then we turn on lights that have no UV light. And then finally we take a break in the sun and we put on suntan lotion which blocks the UV light. Then we look at the benefits of UV and we see UV light activates vitamin D. You don't need synthetic non-absorbing vitamin D supplements. Also helps with lowering blood pressure. Also helps the heart, the arteries, and cholesterol. It also assists in weight loss, which is a $1 trillion industry. Helps with skin conditions and other diseases. And then it also helps to boost melatonin levels so that you can sleep better. Anyone who wears glasses should listen to.
What would it be like to be a four-dimensional being? The answer to this is going to blow your mind. See, being a three-dimensional being means that everything around us is comprised of three dimensions. Length, width, and height. Everything from the rooms that we're in to the human body itself, all the way down to the thinnest human hair strand. Even that is 3D. There's no such thing as flat. So the question is, what would all of these things be like, but from the perspective of a four-dimensional being? Someone who can perceive things from the perspective of the fourth dimension, which is time. And this is where things get crazy. A four-dimensional being would be able to see the evolution of that strand of hair over time and in a single instance, in a moment. A four-dimensional being would be able to look at you right now, and in that exact same instance, they'd see you as an infant, as a teenager, as an elderly person. Four-dimensional being would be able to see everything around you just as it was on the very first day that it was made, while also seeing it decompose and return to dust. As a three-dimensional being, we move through time, but as a four-dimensional being, you see it. You see it. Just like we see space, they see. What would it be like to be a
You're going to realize it one day. That happiness was never about your job or your degree or being in a relationship. Happiness was never about following in the footsteps of all of those who came before you. It was never about being like the others. One day you're going to see it. That happiness was always about the discovery, the hope, the listening to your heart, and following it wherever it chose to go. Happiness was always about being kinder to yourself. It was always about embracing the person you were becoming. One day you will understand that happiness was always about learning how to live with yourself, that your happiness was never in the hands of others. One day you will realize that true happiness comes from within, and no external factors can define it. It was always about you. It was always about you. You're going to realize.
That's so real though. Like, happiness comes within, man. That's where it comes from. That's real. We are getting closer to robots taking over. Do y'all remember this clip? This clip? This is crazy, right?
Hey, figure one, what do you see right now?
I see a red apple on a plate in the center of the table, a drying rack with cups and a plate, and you standing nearby with your hand on the table.
Great, can I have something to eat?
Sure thing.
Great. Can you explain why you did what you just did while you pick up this trash?
On it. So I gave you the apple because it's the only edible item I could provide you with from the table.
Great. So, based on the scene right now, where do you think the dishes in front of you go next?
The dishes on the table, like that plate and cup, are likely to go into the drying rack next.
Great. Can you put them there?
Of course.
All right, so how do you think you did?
I think I did pretty well. The apple found its new owner, the trash is gone, and the tableware is right where it belongs.
Crazy, yeah. Two suns or a glitch in the sky. Or a glitch in the matrix. My bad. That's crazy, man.
Dabble into the internet under the ocean. So this is a satellite attached to a balloon that just fell out of the sky. So when you think of the internet going through satellites, it's actually comedy. Now let me show you why. So here we go. Does the internet work underwater? About 99% of all intercontinental internet traffic goes through submarine cables. The ocean? These satellites are a great solution for connectivity, but don't have the infrastructure to represent a significant amount of global capacity. So those satellites attached to balloons will not provide us the internet, but these submarine cables are hooked up to the cell phone towers. So in case anybody wants to see the map, here's all the wires running through the ocean. The real question is who put them all there? And this one just takes the cake. High-speed internet on the ocean from Starlink. So your satellite with a balloon will be connected to your boat, which will connect through the ocean. So here's a fun one today.
Here's another thing you guys don't understand. You've got an underworld and an overworld. You guys live in the overworld. I live in the underworld, you know. It's like you think the Second World War is over. Second World War is not over. You understand what I'm telling you? The Second World War is not over.
Is Charlie Manson crazy?
Or whatever that means. Sure, he's crazy as mad as a hatter. What difference does it make? You know, a long time ago, being crazy meant something. Nowadays, everybody's crazy. So, I mean, you know, like, you know, synonymous. I mean, it's an irony, man. It's a pair of ducks. I mean, are you crazy? Dressed in black? You think I don't know everything that goes with that black you're dressed in? Yeah. Where's your black gloves? You got your rings. You think I don't understand your blue rings and your yellow skin? You think you're anything wrong? Yeah. Yeah, and then behind that, then, you know, there's a... Here's another thing you guys don't understand. You've got an underworld and an over...
What I just picked up about this right here, though, we have what do you say? We have an underworld and an overworld. That's interesting, though. He on to something with that. I'm not gonna lie. He was on to something with that. Everything else you just said, you lost me, though. I'm not gonna lie.
This is an artificial womb. This is a technology through which babies will be created in the laboratory in the future. With this technology, we will be able to create 30,000 babies in 1 year. Actually, Ectolife offers various packages, and it also provides an elite package. According to this package, you can choose the baby's eye color, hair color, skin tone, physical strength, height, and level of intelligence according to your preference. It means that the more money you have, the more beautiful and intelligent your child will be. Additionally, you'll be able to track the growth of the baby on your mobile phone. This technology has been invented by Hashem Al-Ghaili, and according to him, in the next 10 years, babies will be created in laboratories. Is it right to do that? What is your opinion on this? Please tell us in the comments. This is
Matrix was a documentary. That is so true, man. This is crazy. The fact that they even have this as a thought, or I'm pretty sure they already got something like this, obviously. That's another crazy. They already got this stuff. They don't release it to the public though, because they know we'll freak out about that type of stuff. Like, we're not ready for that type of stuff yet.
Craziest thing about a mirror is that if you were to look in the mirror right now and make an L with your hand like this, it would also appear as if there was an L in the mirror. But if you were to keep that exact same L and just turn around and try to show someone behind you, this would not be an L to them. This would appear backwards. And that's the thing. Mirrors don't mimic the real world. They invert it. An L in the mirror is backwards in the real world. And it's not just mirrors. It's any reflective surface. So puddles, windows, all of these things are the inverted versions of reality. And the most mind-blowing thing about this is these types of reflective surfaces are the only ways that we ever see ourselves. Looking at a reflective surface is the only way that we know how we look. And since these reflective surfaces invert reality, this means that we've only ever seen ourselves inverted. Everyone else in the world sees us as we actually are, except for us. We will literally never see our own face in person. We will never know what we look like in real time. The closest we'll ever get is photos of ourselves from the past. Try to think about how you look right now. Whatever you thought of is probably inverted. The craziest thing about a mirror.
That is pretty scary though. And have y'all heard that mirrors are portals? And they definitely are.
They're hiding the true answer to this question from us. How is it that people who used horses and buggies constructed gigantic, intricate buildings like these? They allegedly only used hammers, manual saws, and basic tools. Does that make any sense to you? Look at these grand structures and ask yourself, how could they achieve all this with such primitive methods? It makes you wonder if our historical timeline is accurate or completely fabricated to hide something. It gets even scarier. What if the dates on these buildings are wrong? Imagine if that number 1 wasn't a 1 at all. Our history could be off by 1,000 years. This brings us to who could have built these intricate structures. Have you ever heard of Tartaria? Tartaria is a colossal empire that conveniently gets left out of mainstream history. But you can never truly erase history, as many references can be found in old maps and documents. Tartaria was a highly advanced civilization with technology and knowledge far beyond what we can imagine. They have even been credited to have built the Great Wall of China and many of these intricate buildings pictured earlier. They're hiding the true answer to this question from us.
They definitely are. That don't make sense at all. We all know that.
There is water that's coming up from inside the earth all the time. This is why people's basements flood. You know, they get rain and they're like, oh, my basement's flooding. The water's coming up from inside the earth while the rain is pouring from the sky. So you have water moving at both directions, so you experience flooding. But it was interesting because in the 1950s, Lake Elsinore ran dry, and they were saying, we're running out. So we need to start building pipelines. We're going to build these pipelines, which is always the story, and take the water from somewhere else. And they tried building these pipelines. The actual pipelines went dry. So there was a dowser who came out, and dowsing goes back into finding water, finding gold, silver. They would come out with a hazel stick where they'd find copper and brass, and they'd come out there and they'd find water. So they had a dowser come out, and he goes, if you drill right here, I'll tell you right here, this is where the water is to refill Lake Elsinore. So what happened was the geologists said, this is woo-woo. We don't do any of that woo-woo stuff here. We build pipes. And he goes, just trust me, like, just do it. So they said, nope. So they tried building another pipeline, went dry again, and he goes, just drill right here, you'll have water. They drill at whatever depth it was. They find water. They refill Lake Elsinore. They never give him credit for finding the water. And Lake Elsinore has been filled ever since. There is water that's coming up from inside.
That is crazy though. We got a lot of water on this planet. A lot of it.
This is somebody who's trying to develop artificial intelligence for computers. He's extremely brilliant. He understands the mind perhaps better than anybody, and he's showing the processes of memory and motivation. And I'm just throwing these diagrams up to you to show you that the natural mind is not one monolithic thing, but it's many components. Understand what those components are and how to divide the mind from itself and how to control those processes. For instance, if you electroshock somebody, you destroy their short-term memory for about 24 hours. So every time that Cisco was used for some purpose, on a daily basis practically, they would electroshock her. What that would do is splinter your short-term memory. Once they get you programmed to where they want you, then they will delete your memory of having been used. This was taken at Bethesda, which happens to be a programming center, but it's showing the brain's PT scans of multiples. And you'll see that from when one personality holds the body to another, we've got totally different PT scans. The mind of a multiple personality, and they now call MPD-DID, just recently changed that, I think, to throw some confusion into things. But when you look at the PET scans, they're different. If I try to impersonate a different persona while I'm getting PET scans, my brain will look the same. The programming is layered in, and this comes from another one of our books back there. Cisco did amazing drawings where she invited her different alters, her different personalities to work together on putting down on paper what they were seeing, because they had no talk programming. And the programming that is so sophisticated, in the 3-hour workshop, I'm going to try to go through step by step and give you more of the details of how it's done. And of course, you've got the Volume 2 book, which explains it from A to Z too. But there's so much to talk to you about. I mean, how they're using implants and on and on. And as they build the structures, they like to use structures like this. Like this is an infinity type structure, so that the person being programmed, they get a feeling like there's no beginning or no end to the programming. It gives them a hopeless feeling. But the type of sophistication, the level of thinking in this programming is so in-depth. This is when they're doing the structuring. This is the beginning of a chart showing the beginning of some structuring that they're doing. And then when the master finally, the programmer or the handler finally has finished programming, he will have a 3-ring binder, a laptop computer with pages that look like this. And if he wants to call up a particular alter, he would say like Brown Levi 2003 11A, Brown Levi 2003 11A, Brown Levi 2003 11A. That right there would be the access code to pull up a particular personality that they would want. And a lot of these personalities will not live in reality. They live in a total science fiction world. They've been dehumanized. Here's how one of Cisco's alters perceived herself.
Is anybody else starting to notice that there are not just humans walking around here, especially in the
oh shit!
Excuse me, people like to sneeze. So I went to go look for a fork in the food court, and when I went up to this burger place, it was empty. Like, it didn't have no customers, and it was like only one person working and another person behind the grill. And this lady, she looked Mexican, or I don't know, Middle Eastern, and we had asked her, do you have a fork? And she looked like she didn't understand what we were saying. So we were like, okay, maybe she speak a different language. And then we said it again, but she started speaking regular. And when we asked for the fork, it just looked like she wanted to growl at us. And she looked like she was just trying to hold back her bloodlust. I don't know. It looked like she was trying to hide, or like she was sent in to try to train to be around humans. I don't this is just what I'm picking up. It was not a regular interaction with it didn't feel human. Like, her energy felt like she had some malicious bloodlust behind herself, and she was trying to hold it back. And she was it was just, you can tell in the eyes always. Just the way she was moving and walking to go get the fork, it just looked like she just got into a meat suit, and she's still in training around being around humans, and this job is what she's working at to train. I don't know if these malls are special centers for these other species to train to be around humans and just work and do those type of things. But that was not a natural encounter. I don't know, I'm just overthinking too much, but what I felt, and when I felt her energy, it just felt like she wanted to eat me, and she was trying to hold it back. Once she corrected herself, it was like she was about to speak in another language, but once she corrected herself, she spoke perfect English. And she did not have a foreign accent. She did not have a Mexican accent. Moral of the story is, it ain't just humans out here. And some of them are in training in these malls to be around us. I forgot to add this as well. The reason why I started to notice there was something off was because it was a burger spot that I was asking for a fork. And I had asked, do you guys have any vegetarian options? It's a new burger spot in the mall. I'm like, okay, you might be able to try something. And then I was like, do you guys have him? She looked like she didn't know what we were talking about. And I was like, Impossible? Do you have Beyond Meat? Do you have black bean burgers? And she was like, yeah. It sounded like she was just trained to say or agree or yes, you know. And she's like, whatever. And it just, it's, you know what I'm talking about, like.
Oh God, like she was really tripping. Like we for sure asked her for Beyond Impossible. She acted like she didn't know what we was talking about. She just kept agreeing to everything and shit like that. Like, oh God,
But listen, she really, I know you're probably thinking maybe she's a foreigner, but me, I read energy. You know, if you know, you know. When you're reading energy, you can sense that something is not human and something is human. She spoke perfect English when she spoke. The look in her eyes was like, please hurry up and get away from me before I jump out of my meat suit type energy. So y'all, yeah.
To be honest with you, I wouldn't even be shocked, man. Honestly, I think there's definitely a percentage of people that's not real. They just some type of reptilian or something about them. It's just, yeah. You can almost see it too.
What if I told you the Oscars aren't just an award show? The red carpet represents the sacrificed inner liquids, the golden statue, an idol called Sokar, and the winners, chosen to push the narratives they're ordered to. The Oscars don't reward acting in movies. They reward acting in real life. The real Best Actor award goes to those who can play the longest, most convincing role, their own public persona. You see, actors never stop acting. They're curated, scripted, and placed exactly where Hollywood needs them. You think it's about talent? No, it's a selection process, a system that decides who rises, who falls, and who gets humiliation rituals. Think about it. How many Oscar winners flop right after winning? How many face sudden scandals or vanish from the spotlight? Winning isn't a blessing, it's a contract. And once they've served their purpose, they're no longer needed. The golden statue, it's not just a trophy, it's modeled after Ptah or Sokar, the Egyptian god of the underworld, transition and control over those in limbo. And here's the eerie part. Sokar is an anagram of Oscar. Sokar was depicted as faceless, rigid, arms crossed, just like the Oscar statue. Silent, a symbol of submission. They didn't choose this design by accident. It represents how Hollywood transforms people into fake personas, idols, fabrications, sometimes even multiple characters played by the same person over time. Fake rises, fake falls, fake deletions. You know the drill. It's about servitude to the role, possession, permanent method acting, a life lived as a scripted character, never breaking from the performance. Remember that slap? The one that hijacked headlines? Yeah, people debated if it was real or staged. But the truth, it was scripted. Why do you think he won Best Actor right after? Not for the movie, but for his real life character. Because the Oscars don't reward actors for their roles in films. They reward those who play their role outside of them. The Oscars, it's WWE for celebrities, a carefully staged spectacle designed to distract, mislead, and manipulate emotions. The biggest films, pushed to serve Hollywood's agenda. The winners, picked based on the message they need spread that year. One year, it's empowerment. Another, sacrifice. Another, control. Hollywood isn't a dream factory. It's a machine. And the Oscars, that's where the gears are oiled. So next time you watch, don't ask who will win. Ask yourself who's being played. I'm gonna go.
Jesus never died on a cross. It's a symbolic story. Jesus took 5 wounds on the cross, and then he ascended to heaven. The 5 wounds represent the 5 senses. These are the 5 ways the soul interacts with matter. In order to reach your higher consciousness, you have to sacrifice the desire of the 5 senses, detaching from the material world, so that we can ascend to our higher consciousness. To prove this, the Bible says the flesh and blood cannot inherit the kingdom of God in Corinthians. The body cannot enter heaven, which which means your emotion, your mind, and spirit can, which proves heaven is a state of consciousness now. This is why Jesus says, take no thought 5 times in Matthew. Take no thought is meditation. 5 to turn off the 5 senses, so that we can connect with the higher consciousness. The word Bible stands for basic instructions before leaving Earth. The whole Bible is an allegorical, spiritual ascension toolbook. This book will help you understand this. Jesus never died.
I love how you break down stuff, man. For real.
Disgusting facts you didn't know about processed foods, part 1. Hit the follow button first and watch this full video because one of these ingredients is actually sand. About 70% of our calories come from processed foods. That's 7 out of every 10 foods we eat have been altered with chemical ingredients. But here's the thing, they're highly addictive. That's why we can't put them down, because they're designed to keep us coming back. Processed foods stimulate dopamine, which is a feel-good neurotransmitter that lights up your brain in similar ways that drugs do. Here's a list of foods most commonly linked to addictive eating behaviors, with ice cream, chocolate, pizza, and fries leading the way. A lot of processed foods have disgusting ingredients like titanium dioxide, or E171, most commonly used in paints and sunscreens. Its function is to make food more visually appealing. You can find it in salad dressing, coffee creamers, and cake icing. And you won't believe this common ingredient in fast food and canned chili, silicon dioxide, but most people call it sand. Follow me for part 2. Disgusting facts you didn't.
Yo, hey, let's be real though. Come on, y'all. Them processed food be hitting sometimes. I play too much. I gotta stop, man.
Now I know I could go pull his feet, grab a couple bags.
You must think they put that stay back on there for decoration. Go pull them feet if you want to. When his partner come out the back and one pump you with a blunderbuss and pull your power cord, don't be surprised. I'm talking about them boys be toting an unusual arsenal of weaponry, bro. He talking about, buddy come out the back with an angry Autobot arm aimed at you.
Now I know.
Good evening. I want you to turn to the person next to you. I want you to look him in the eye and introduce yourself as a genius. Let's begin. Now, geniuses, so happy to be with you this evening. I have a few questions for you before we begin. How many people in this audience actually believe in the idea that the way you think has some effect on your life? That your thoughts create your life? You believe that, yes? So how many people here actually woke up this morning and consciously created a future? You know, the biggest reason why people don't do it is because you don't really believe it's true.
Yeah.
You see, if you knew on a gut level that it was absolutely true, would you ever miss a day? Come on. And would you ever let any thought slip by your awareness that you didn't want to experience? So your brain, according to neuroscience, is organized to reflect everything you know in your life. Your brain is a record of your environment. It's a record, an artifact of your past. So if you believe this, then does your environment control your thinking, or does your thinking control your environment? So if you wake up in the morning and you get out of bed on the same exact side as you did the day before, you shut the alarm clock off with the same finger, you slip into your favorite slippers, you shuffle into the bathroom and you use the toilet like you always do, then you walk over to the mirror and you look at yourself to remember who you are, then you get into the shower and you wash yourself in the same routine way, then you groom yourself to look like everybody expects you to look, then you go downstairs and you drink coffee out of your favorite mug. Then you drive to work the same way as you did the day before. You see the same people that push the same emotional buttons. You do the exact thing that you know how to do and you memorize and can do so well that you're an expert at. Then you hurry up and rush home so you can hurry up and check your emails, so you could hurry up and go to bed, so you could hurry up and do it all over again. Now, here's my question. Did your brain change at all that day? We could say that you are thinking the same thoughts, performing the same actions, that create the same experiences, that produce the same emotions, but secretly expecting something to change in your life. Would you agree? So then, as the environment turns on different circuits in your brain, you begin to think equal to your environment. As you see the same people and go to the same places and do the same things at the same time, it's the external environment that's turning on different circuits in your brain, causing you to think equal to everything that you know. And as long as you think equal to everything that's familiar or known to you, what do you keep creating more of? Same life. Now, the quantum law is still applying to you. You're just thinking equal to everything that you know, and you keep creating more of the same. To change, to truly change, is to think greater than your environment. And every great person in history knew this. Whether it was William Wallace or Mahatma Gandhi or Martin Luther King or Queen Elizabeth I or Joan of Arc, they all had a vision. They all had an idea. Couldn't see it, couldn't smell it, couldn't taste it, couldn't feel it, but it was alive in their mind. It was so alive in their mind that they began to live as if that reality was actually happening now. So can you believe in a future that you can't see or experience with your senses yet, but you've thought about enough times in your mind that your brain is literally changed to look like the event has already happened? Neuroscience says it's absolutely possible. Now, your personality creates your personal reality. That's it. It's that simple. And your personality is made up of how you think, how you act, and how you feel. So the present personality who's sitting here today, you, has created the present personal reality called your life. Would you agree? Would you also agree then, if you wanted to create a new personal reality, that on a fundamental level you would have to change the thoughts that you are thinking, the behaviors and habits that you're demonstrating, and the emotions that you've memorized that's become part of your identity? And most people try to create a new personal reality as the same personality, and it never works. We have to become somebody else. So then, as you keep thinking the same thoughts, performing the same actions, and living by the same experiences that produce the same emotions, there's a principle in neuroscience that says nerve cells that fire together wire together. And if you keep repeating the same states of mind and body over and over again, your brain begins to fire in the same sequences, in the same patterns and same combinations. And whenever you make your brain work in a certain way, that's called mind. Mind is the brain in action. So as you remind yourself every day who you think you are, you're causing your brain to fire in the exact same ways. And as they fire and wire in the same patterns over time, the brain moves into a very finite signature, and that's called your personality. Now, that box in your brain isn't literally a box, but it's the most commonly wired, neurologically fired programs that run redundantly because we keep doing the same things over and over again. To change your mind, then, is to make the brain work in new sequences and new patterns and new combinations, to begin to make the brain work differently. And the one ingredient that allows us to do that is knowledge or information. Because every time you learn something new, you make a new connection in your brain. That's what learning is. Learning is forging new connections. Remembering is maintaining or sustaining those connections. So now, every time you have a thought, you make a chemical. And if you have a great thought, or an unlimited thought, or a joyful thought, you turn on a set of circuits in your brain that fires in a very specific sequence, pattern, and combination, that produces a level of mind, that turns on another part of the brain that makes a chemical for you to begin to feel exactly the way you were just thinking, great or unlimited or joyful. Now, if you have a negative thought or an unhappy thought or a self-depreciating thought, you turn on a different set of circuits and a different combination, a different sequence and a different pattern that produces a different level of mind. And the brain then begins to make a different batch of chemicals that signals the body for you to begin to feel exactly the way you were just thinking, negative or unhappy or unworthy. So the moment you begin to feel the way you think, because the brain is in constant communication with your body, you begin to think the way you feel, which makes more chemicals for you to feel the way you think, and then you think the way you feel, and then you feel the way you think, and then you think the way you feel. And some people do this for 20 or 30 or 40 years. Now, the redundancy of that cycle over time creates what I call a state of being. And a state of being is when your mind and body are working together, or your thoughts and feelings are aligned to a concept. So thoughts are the language of the brain, and feelings are the language of the body. And as people get caught in this cycle of thinking and feeling and feeling and thinking, over time, they condition their body to memorize that emotion as well as the conscious mind. And whenever the body knows as well as the mind, that's called a habit. A habit is when your body is the mind. Now, 95% of who you are by the time you're 35 years old is a set of memorized behaviors, set of emotional reactions, beliefs, perceptions, attitudes that run just like a computer program. So 5% of your conscious mind begins to work against 95% of what you've memorized. So the person wants to think positively, but they're feeling negatively. They want to create their dream board, and put up their future life, but they feel unworthy. That's mind and body in opposition. We have to recondition the body to a new mind.
Yo, shout out to Dr. Joe, man. Definitely gotta have that type of mindset, even though stuff is not looking good, It get like that though. You can feel unworthy of even having that, but hey, if someone else got it, what makes you think you can't have it, right? So just keep going.
Anything you say with the words I am, your subconscious will then take that as a command. If you say I am sick, you're actually creating sick in the future. See, a lot of people think when they're describing the present, well, I'm sick. But the fact is you're prescribing the future by describing the present as it is. And most people never get that. So when you're saying negative things to yourself, you're affecting yourself in a physiological way. And so we're constantly programming our subconscious. So this is why the people that live the most effective lives are always acting as if they're in the future and the future's perfect. Anything you say with the words
on day today, I gave that woman 16 years of my life. She gonna have a baby on me with my granddad.
What?
16 years of my life, she have a baby on me with my granddad.
With your grandfather?
With my grandfather.
Honey, yeah, that's terrible.
It's real terrible, man.
Oh,
I don't know what to do.
I guess not. Oh, good gosh.
That's bad.
I don't know what's worse, her or your grandfather.
Both. Y'all have a good one. On day today, I gave that woman
both.
A monumental opportunity for kids my age to see the legend Mike Tyson in the ring for the first time. So after such a successful career, what type of legacy would you like to leave behind when it's all said and done?
Well, I don't know. I don't believe in the word legacy. I just think that's another word for ego. Legacy doesn't mean nothing. That's just some word everybody grabbed onto. Someone said that word and everyone grabbed on the word, so now it's used every 5 seconds. It means absolutely nothing to me. I'm just passing through. I'm going to die, and it's going to be over. Who cares about legacy after that? What a big ego. So I'm going to die. I want people to think that I'm this, I'm great. No, we're nothing. We're just dead. We're dust. We're absolutely nothing. Our legacy is nothing.
Well, thank you so much for sharing that. That is something that I have not heard before, someone say that as an answer. So thank you so much for giving me that kind of idea as well.
Can you really imagine somebody say, I want my legacy to be this way when you're dead? Why do you want somebody to think? You think somebody really wants to think about you? What's the audacity? I think, I want people to think about me when I'm gone. Who the fuck cares about me when I'm gone? Well, my kids, maybe, my grandkids.
Yeah, true. And again, thank you so much for sharing that. And I also have a gift. A monumental opportunity.
Somebody in the comments said, That girl just turned 35 years old. Bro, like, Mike, calm down. We get it, man. Like, she was being so mature right there, too, though. Shout out to her.
You get with a guy if he cannot financially take care of all of your bills, if he cannot keep you in labels and take you on vacation, there really is no point in even being with him. And if you think like this, you're a part of my problem. That is what whores think. That is how prostitutes think. And you grown-ass women are out here raising little bitty miniature prostitutes, talking about run them pockets, see what you can get, not thinking, how about I create myself to a financial security, create myself to a level that I can date who I want to because money is not an issue. If you're factoring money when you're getting with somebody, you know what you are? You're not a partner. You're a parasite. You're a virus. For real, women come.
Got a point. I'm not about to go down this rabbit hole, though. I can't.
I stay in fucking Kardashian land, for Christ's sake. It's all women there, you know, and I got a son in my house, and I got the nannies talking down to me. I got the mother, like y'all think y'all got a mother-in-law? I got the mother-in-law of all mother-in-laws. And it was just, let me tell you what happened. It's like, last Christmas, my family came in. They all flew in, like 5 of my family members, because it's been a year after I've been in a hospital and I put in UCLA for mental health issues. And they came to give me some love for Christmas. And the family got on the phone together and they decided that it's their tradition to go over Courtney's house and open up gifts. And that it wasn't enough room for my family to be there that morning, and that my family that flew in could watch my kids open up gifts later that afternoon. And I didn't have a voice, and there was no man with a voice in that family. So yeah, I'm fucking hurt. Yeah, I'm fucking hurt by a lot of shit. But mostly I miss my fucking dad. I stay in fucking Kardashian.
It's like Kanye's been, like, ever since he got with Kim, he's been going through it for real.
Okay, next.
I beg your damn pardon. The hell you mean next? Wait, well, hold on. Wait, let me. Wait.
Nah, for real.
If you my teacher and I'm the student, and you shellac me across my head, well, what is the teachable moment right here, Sensei?
You right though, like, dude, nah. I wouldn't even, hey, talking about next. Who going up there? Not me. Because if you do that to me, hey, you gotta catch these hands. I ain't going up, bro. The Simpsons put it right in our face. For real. Life really get deep, for real.
Coca-Cola other than drinking it.
Coca-Cola has many surprising uses. It can clean rusty tools when soaked for 30 minutes. It removes gum from shoes and hair by rinsing or soaking. Boiling Coke in a burnt pot makes it easier to clean. Pouring Coke in a kettle and boiling it removes scales. Mixing Coke with detergent removes kitchen odors and stains. Adding Coke to laundry detergent removes black mold. Coke mixed with egg white shines stainless steel. A mixture of Coke, toilet water, detergent, baking soda, and vinegar can clean a dirty washing machine. Pouring Coke in a toilet, letting it sit, and flushing removes stains.
I exposed the food industry in this book. Comment real and I'll send it to you. Or just...
Yeah, that is, like, that's so crazy how we drink that type of stuff too. That stuff is messing our insides up, man. How many of y'all still drink pop? If you are, at least cut it back to like 3 times a month. Don't be drinking it every week. Come on, man. Cut it out. You know you don't need that stuff. You don't. Unless it's Sprite or something. If Sprite is cool, I think. I don't know, but all pop is bad.
Y'all, it might officially happen.
Drake might be performing at the halftime for the World Cup. This guy right here is finna make it happen. His name is Gianni Infantino. He is the FIFA president. And he's finna sign on that dotted line to have Drake perform during the halftime. We all know that Kendrick just performed during the Super Bowl for the NFL. But y'all, the NFL don't got shit on FIFA, on the World Cup. I do not know who this lady is in purple, but she is the one that brung it up to him like, hey, how about Drake do the halftime for FIFA? So now the question is, since we all know that this is gonna be a bigger event than the NFL, are we finna see Kendrick perform for the NBA Finals? I feel like this whole shit is getting messy again. They don't want this beef to go away ever. Y'all, look at the clip.
Great idea for you for the halftime. I'm sorry I'm obsessed with this. Drake, because you were at the Super Bowl, Kendrick Lamar dissed him at the Super Bowl. You got so we can create a bit of Drake comes back for, you know.
Actually, Drake was with us when we announced the host cities of. You might be on something cool. I should have his number still somewhere.
I expect to be sitting right next to you when you sign him.
Shorty in the purple is messy. She like, yeah, let's get this done. I'm convinced she might be a Drake fan. She was like, Kendrick dissed him in the NFL, so let's have Drake. And he like, money. But I feel like Drake is gonna do something special. He might even bring out Bad Bunny. Y'all, it might.
Yeah, this is crazy though. Like this, it seems like this beef. It's they like, you know, they using it as an energy harvesting or something. Yeah. What y'all feel about that? Y'all think so? Yeah, that's what I think. That's what's going on for sure.
What are things that people are doing consistently to damage their brains?
Sugar, blue light at night, not flossing your teeth, gum health is critical to the brain. Your deodorant, your body wash, your shampoo, makeup, is it loaded with toxins? Because whatever goes on our body, goes in our body, becomes our body. We need to teach people to read the labels, not just of the food we consume, but also of the products we put on our body.
What are things that people are doing consistently?
It's good to know things like this though, so we can prepare ourselves and get that fixed, you know.
Was watermelon originally yellow? So that's the information I came across. That was very interesting for me as well, because I thought that, you know, watermelon was just red and that the yellow one was like a derivative of the red. But according to the information I came across on the internet, I haven't done any deeper studies on it because I didn't really care that much, right? But I did come across information where they're saying that the original watermelon is yellow. We get the red varieties that comes after that. I don't know how true it is because I never looked into it that deeply, so I'm not gonna say it's true or not, but that's what I did come across. On a certain level of observation, I guess it's not that far-fetched because most fruits actually are yellow. Bananas are yellow, oranges are yellow, papayas are yellow, pineapple is yellow. You see what I'm saying? Mangoes are yellow. So a lot of fruits are actually yellow. So it's not far-fetched to believe that it could be a potential or it could be possible that the original watermelon was actually yellow. You get what I'm saying? Just by looking at the, you know, the correspondence in that sense. So I don't know for sure, but yeah.
Man, have y'all ever tried a yellow watermelon? Man, they are actually good. It's almost better than the original.
She climbed into the barrel before it was pushed into the raging rapids. Even with lead weights to keep it upright, it was tossed and spun through the water, narrowly missing the jagged rocks. Finally, the whole thing plunged over the falls. When she finally emerged from the water, she had no broken bones, but did suffer a scalp wound and plenty of bruises. The stunt was meant to raise money for her sick mother, but the promoters stole the funds, even selling the barrel for a bit of extra cash.
If you keep saying you broke, you will be broke. If you keep saying you ain't got it, you won't have it. If you keep saying I gotta make ends meet, ends don't meet. I keep telling y'all, it's power in the tongue, power in what you say, because it can manifest into reality quickly or slowly, but inevitably. So stop saying I ain't got it. Say it's on the way. Stop saying you broke. Say it's circulating. And that goes for everything, not just money, not just income. If you keep saying I'm never gonna find a man, baby, you won't. And another thing, you shouldn't be finding anything, but that's a whole nother story. If you keep saying I'm never gonna find a house, you're not. It's never gonna come. You're gonna be stuck where you at forever. And that's another thing. If you keep saying you stuck in a situation, you gonna stay stuck in a situation. Because what you're saying is what you're thinking, is what you're feeling, and what all that put together, baby, that's what's happening. That's what's gonna happen. That's what's gonna continue happening. You see how all that connect? So start speaking life over yourself. Start speaking wealth over yourself. Start speaking abundantly over yourself. If you keep saying you broke.
That's the truth, man. That is the truth.
Hey, look, man. All that talking about you praying to the devil shit, you feel me? All that, you know what I mean? Man, listen, I'm gonna get your ass from around quick. You feel me? Stay from around me with that shit. You know what I'm saying? We keep God in our life over here. Fuck, nigga. Hey, look.
I think we've gotten to a point where we're now coddling and enabling our children to the point where when they get out in society and society says no, they can't take it.
I'm suing everybody. It's discrimination. I'm going to record everything.
Or they don't want to get a job, or or they don't want to try. So it's just really important to understand that, it's not only about teaching the boy that, but it's also about teaching his little girl that as well too. And so
toxic masculinity is a white supremacist psychological tool that is used to institute the buck breaking of men.
I think we've gotten to a
When you understand the hidden truth of the human heart, you can create any reality that you choose. The human heart is not at all what we've been conditioned to believe it is. It's actually an electromagnetic coil that generates a magnetic field around our body that pulls things towards us. Scientists have measured this magnetic field, and it's 5,000 times stronger than the brain's magnetic field. Every emotion we have is actually a vibrational pulse that is sent through this field and is stored inside of our aura, and will either propel people away from us or magnetize people and experiences towards us. Every emotion that we experience as humans is either from fear or from love. And if it's from fear, it propels people away from you. But if it's from love, it increases your magnetic field and draws people and everything towards you. I can literally guarantee you, if you make more decisions out of fear than love for yourself in a day, you will be walking around and you'll just notice people do not attract towards you. Experiences, success does not attract towards you. The universe is not working in your favor because you're not working with it. When you step into love, you start to give more than you take. You step out of survival into service for the world. The universe shifts, your reality shifts, and the universe turns into a more abundant, giving place. It's almost like we're not physical beings moving through different realities based on the frequency we emit. If you're ready to leave behind the old, lower vibrational patterns and earth to step into the new, higher you, shoot me a DM. When you understand the hidden
You're stuck within the cage, the rib cage. You're in a prison cell because you're made out of cells. You are hexed in physical matter. This is the X, the hex. The hexagram's a cube. A cube unfolded is the cross. You need to escape the physical world, the three-dimensional matrix, which is the world of Satan, because Satan gives you the mark of the beast, the physical body, the 666 carbon suit, and then blinds your mind. Your mind is completely separate from the physical world. Through physical pleasures and lack of understanding of yourself, you think your mind is part of your physical body, when in reality they are two separate things. Your mind is completely separate from your physical body. The physical world is a dimension within your mind. Men means mind, mental. Mind in Latin means mens. In order to escape the three-dimensional physical world, you have to fully detach your mind from your body. Meditation is key in transcending the 3D world and traveling the depths of your mind. Mind and matter is one. They are different dimensions within your mind. When you dream, your mind creates matter. This is why mind and matter are one. The cube is the shape that gives rise to physical matter. The link is in my bio for the Book of Wisdom.
Check what you're eating. If when you eat done, you feel tired and lazy, it means that you're eating dead food. Get yourself up. Start eating some live. Check what you're eating.
The indigo children are six-dimensional priestly energies that kinda in their higher self exist outside the matrix, and they came into the matrix only to transform it and change it. Okay, these so-called indigo children. sixth dimensional. Sixth dimension is where the masters are. So they're a priestly tribe of like spiritual teachers, spiritual masters, and they came down to change the world. One thing about an indigo child, to really know if you're one, is that you don't agree with the system. This whole system of government, this whole system of the system, period, you hate it. You don't agree with it. You see the lies in it. And you hate the fact that you got to be here in this, right? Until you understand who you are, then you understand why you're here, right? So with that being said, family, this is how you know you're indigo, okay? You are sent literally to change and transform the world you live in. The indigo children are sixth dimension.
I went too deep. I went too deep. Have you heard of the prison planet theory? Well, guess who just learned about it? Yeah. I didn't sleep last night. I did not sleep last night, and if you keep watching this, you're probably not going to sleep either. So here I am, minding my own business on Reddit when I found Escaping Prison Planet. And for the next 3 hours, I dove too deep. Here's the gist of it. Essentially, we're all trapped here on Earth. We're all trapped here, and everything we know about, like all the religions that believe in reincarnation, all these different things, yeah, we keep coming back to this Earth because there are astral beings that are harvesting our energy, and they are trapping us here. Sounds crazy, right? Sounds crazy. Well, let's get into the details. Apparently these beings that are controlling us are these reptilian beings that you always hear about. Well, let's dive into it, In Jainism and Hinduism, they have Nagas, half human, half serpent. The Aztec Empire talked about a serpent-like god that they called Quetzalcoatl. And don't tell me if I pronounced it right or wrong. I don't care, okay? Surely 2 instances, right? This is just a coincidence. African shamans talk about the Shitari, and it is a race of reptilian beings. The Hopi Indians in North America had the Sheti, which translates to snake brothers. Chinese, Japanese, and Korean legends all talk about the Kappa. And Gnostic texts, which if you don't know about the Gnostics, Gnosis just means knowledge, and basically what the Gnostics believed was after Christ died, you have to have particular knowledge that would save. I went too deep. I went too deep. Have you heard of the prison planet theory? Well, guess who just learned?
Now, this is medical studies now. This is hard no science now. We've known this since the 1950s when we discovered the 4 brainwaves. You spend 3 hours out of the body into the 5th dimension. The question is, where do you go? Most people, because they don't know what you're doing, or because they're arguing with their wife, or they're worrying about problems, or because they had too many drugs, they go to the lower astral plane. That's a very bad neighborhood. Like hell? Well, except you can get out of it. Yeah. So it's like purgatory. Okay? Purgatory, okay. Whereas if you use the techniques I described in psychic protection techniques and more positive things, you can leave through the crown chakra, not through the 3rd chakra, which will take you to the lower astral. If you go to the crown chakra, which is where you want to go, now you go to the upper astral plane, or the causal, mental, etheric, or even soul plane. Those are all positive dimensions. Okay. The only 2 negative dimensions are the lower astral plane and this one. You have a lot of problems here. But the other dimensions are all positive. And each dimension has a sound and certain characteristics that are relevant to it. For example, if you're out of the body and you hear the roar of the sea, you're on the astral plane. If you hear the tinkling of bells like in a New Age bookstore, now you're on the causal plane where the Akashic records are stored. If you hear the sound of running water, you're on the mental plane. And if you hear the buzzing of bees, you're on the etheric plane. Or if you hear the sound of a flute, you're on the soul plane. Now, this is medical studies now. This is
Yo, I heard somewhere that like when you pass, when you pass on, whatever frequency you was on, that's where you're gonna go. That's what I heard. I don't know. How do y'all feel about that?
Y'all, this shit finna get real. So we all know that Tory Lanez is behind bars right now. But that's not stopping the grind. Cause this man finna drop an album on Friday, which is tomorrow. Y'all, and I'm hearing this is about to be a tell-all. He ain't about to do no cut cars. I'm hearing he about to expose everything. We all know the real reason why he's behind bars right now. It's not because of what he allegedly did. It's because the people in power didn't like what he was doing. Tory Lanez was on his way to show every single rapper who was up and coming that you did not need a label to make moolah. Before he went to prison, he had dropped an album that went platinum within 10 minutes. The industry was like, nah, we don't like that, so we gonna sit your little ass down. They waited for the right opportunity to make an example out of him. But Tory is finna tell it all. Look at this trailer, y'all.
Well, let me find a real trailer real quick, because this audio is kind of messed up.
You wanted to knock me out of the game. You wanted to take me away from my family. You wanted to do that. But I never allowed you to. Every single step of the way, I kept on staying resilient each and every way. Kept throwing punches, kept throwing blows. Because I never allow y'all to knock me down. I never allow y'all to back me into the corner and think you got me, because you never got me. When y'all try to take the playlist away from me, I gave y'all 1 billion streams, first artist to ever do it without playlisting. When y'all try to take the albums away from me, I said fuck it. I made the first ever music NFT, sold 1 million copies, went platinum in 57 seconds. Every time you try to block me, I keep coming back. There's nothing I can do to stop my shine, to stop my hustle, to stop my hunger, my ambition, nothing. I've been through too much pain, too much problems, too much tears, too much sweat, nigga. You'll never understand this pressure. You'll never understand that, my nigga. So they went to the emergency plan. Lock this nigga up, take his freedom, that'll silence him. Finally, that'll silence him. And guess what? Even in the darkest parts of prison, the first ever professionally recorded in real-time prison album. I'm not gonna lay up, I'm not gonna let up. I promise this year gonna pay me back for every single minute y'all took from me. It's my turn to talk, and this time, I got a lot to say.
Okay. Nah, what? Let me find out, man. To be honest, I really do feel like Megan lied. How many of y'all feel like that? I ain't gonna lie. I feel like Megan did lie. That's what it was. She lied. I know she lied. I remember watching that documentary.
Zeus Network not gonna like this at all. Yo man Aaron the Plumber just doubled down on Zeus Network and Erica Mena, calling them demonic in the worst way. So Aaron the Plumber was on the Shay stream when the Shay was reacting to 5 of the top scenes from Zeus Network that included Aaron the Plumber. And one of the jumps was when he was talking about Erica Mena and Zeus being demonic. And the Shay asked him, why did he say that? And this is what he said.
The thing that I learned about Zeus Network is they are demonic. All the contestants' names on this show, even mine, trace back to Greek mythology. I'm an avid reader, so that sparked my interest right there. They changed my name on the show to Pied Piper, which is like so what? Pied Piper, which is like a medieval folklore type of thing, and it's about a dude that leads 120 kids to their death.
And then he even went on to say that people were still following him till this day. The Shay said, why don't you hire bodyguards? He said, yeah, I keep a bodyguard with me. Y'all know what he mean. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this down below in the comments.
Alright, y'all. I'm going to wrap up the video right here. Hope you guys enjoyed that. We'll be back tomorrow with another video. With all of this said, peace.